What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 4 of the podcast. On today's episode, we have Snake Havasta. He's a really smart guy who gives a lot of good information on just business insights and how to run a business and really how to think outside of the box a little bit. So he's going to give some good perspectives there. You can also hear his opinion on the Hawk Tuah girl or some conspiracies. You know, we get into some good topics here, but hope you guys like this episode. This is one of my favorite ones that I've done so far, so they're going to keep on getting better and keep on letting me know how you guys like them. And yeah, let's do this thing. Hope you guys enjoy. All right, man. Well, thanks for coming, or I guess I came here. Thanks for having me. It's a nice place.
Oh yeah, dude. Thanks too.
We're in York, PA. Beautiful York, PA. Lovely place. Snake's girl decorated this real nice. You can tell.
Yeah.
It's not decorated by a dude.
No, not at all, dude.
It's nice though. York's a beautiful place. Fantastic.
It smells great.
Yeah. It smells terrible here, but it's okay. You can get past it.
Yeah, you get used to it.
You like living here?
Dude, I like how cheap it is.
True.
You know.
It is so cheap.
Yeah.
And also it's like close to Baltimore, like you know,
Yeah.
you can get down there if you need to.
Yeah, and I feel like the city's like surrounded by like country, and like I'm into like the farming and stuff, so it works for me. Got a lot of connects, people you can meet, you know, learn from. So
yeah. So wait, what do you do? I didn't even ask you. What do you do like for work right now?
I'm driving forklift, dude, for FedEx.
And you said you were up. You were like, I was up at 4 a.m. this morning. You texted me at like 4:30, and you're like, "Sorry, man, I missed your text." I went driving a forklift.
Dude, I gotta go to bed like 7, 8 o'clock. I just switched actually the past 2 weeks. I was working I was starting like 4 o'clock, 4 p.m. And then, dude, it's way better to wake up and go right to work rather than sit there, wait the whole day, go to work. You know, it just worked better for my schedule. Quinn, my girlfriend, she's a teacher, so she'd be coming home, and I would have been going to work, you know, with the other shifts. So it worked out. So I just switched up. So yeah, I wake up at like 3 or whatever, but hey, you know, got to do what you got to do.
I mean, yeah, you gotta make that money, you know.
Yeah.
Wait, so who you drive it? Like, what company?
FedEx.
FedEx. Oh, yeah. You like that?
Dude, I do.
It's not bad. You're grinding. I mean,
dude, I feel like I'm on a go-kart all day. Like, literally turn your brain off. I'm just like thinking about, you know, whatever is on my mind.
True.
So
And how late do you work? Or like, say you get up at 4, you get there at 5 or 4:30.
Well, like start at 4, and on Monday I start at 3. So it depends on how much work there is. Like, but roughly, you know, I might leave like some days it could be 8:30, some days it could be 10.
Damn.
So anywhere between. So I might be getting like 25 hours a week.
Yeah.
So it's part time for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I do like I'm trying to work on my own little farming thing out, you know, on the side. So that's what I want to really do. But
yeah, you've always been doing like stuff on the side. I feel like even in college, or maybe not. Maybe right when you graduated, when you had like the microgreens. Yeah. You're still doing that.
Well,
Penn Street. Greens.
I mean, that's kind of what the name is. So like that's what it's called. But like we were just talking before we started filming, and I've kind of the past 2 years just been like figuring out my thing because I don't have too much land, right? I had mentioned, and so it worked out. The microgreens was like something I could do. It was attainable like in your house. Like you need like grow lights and like a little bit some racks, some metal racks. So I started with that, but past 2 years I've been just like figuring out really where I want to land. So now I, have a couple thousand square feet where I rent and grow a lot of produce. Getting into like preservation, ferments, tinctures. You ever heard of tinctures?
No, what is that?
So like you could like soak like herbs or whatever you want in like alcohol, and then it's like they sell them in like little ounce bottles, but it's like extracting the properties of like whatever you have. It's whatever.
So what do you do that? You do that with greens?
No. I'll do that with cayenne peppers, like the one I'm doing right now. You could do it with herbs, but I just do teas with some things, but pepper, like I don't know, the cayenne pepper is kind of weird. Why cayenne pepper? But it's supposed to be like I technically can't. I guess I'll go into it. I can't sell it like this. I can't say it's gonna do this special thing for you because it'll be like illegal if I say.
Right. Yeah. You can't claim.
Right.
Do something.
Or any herbs, like they won't let you do that, which is a whole nother thing. We could even talk about that. Like there's no studies to back it up. Well, but there's studies to back up these pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, well, who's funding the studies, right? Why can't you do studies on the things that we've been growing for thousands of years? And we can make those claims then.
Yeah.
But legally, I couldn't make those claims. But basically, cayenne pepper will move your blood. It's good for circulation. And people have said that they've used it in a case where someone was having a heart attack, and that's like a blood clot.
Yeah.
They've had it on hand for this reason, and this is
Really?
why I learned about it. So this is why I specifically am taking the cayenne pepper and taking that into a tincture, because it's a dropper bottle, so it's very easy to like administer. So then other things I do teas, because you're not going to sit there and brew a tea if someone's having a right. So
yeah, like let me just brew this tea for you. He's having a heart attack.
Yeah.
What are you doing brewing a tea? Like, yeah, you're probably not gonna be doing that. You got any cayenne here?
Dude, I do.
I might have to try some later on.
It's hot, man. It's hot.
Yeah, is it really?
Yeah, dude.
Should we try some right now?
Shit.
No, we don't need to. No, but I think we should get into what was it last night? This is actually insane. I met some girl last night that was telling me she has like some autoimmune disorder that impacts her bladder like really bad. I forget what it was called. It's IC or something. I forget what it stands for. Or, yeah, what that stands for. But she has this condition that like impacts her whole body. Like it's like super painful and all this and all that. And every doctor she's gone to, like, they don't talk about diet or like exercise or really anything. They just are like, oh, let's like just give you all this medicine. And she said one doctor she went to was like, I think you're making a bigger deal than this is. And instead of telling them like, oh, let's try some diets and experiment and try to get the pain down, even if you are making a big deal of it, like, why not just help the pain? Yeah. And they said, we're going to put you on like antidepressants.
What?
Which is crazy.
Because she was making a big deal about it.
Which is crazy.
What?
Why are you jumping to that? Completely not addressing the issue at all.
Yeah.
And she said she was thinking about doing it, and I was like, don't do that.
No.
Then she's like, yeah, like her boyfriend was like, I told her, like, don't do that. Like, I wanted to fight the doctor because, like, he just was like, oh, yeah, let's just put you on antidepressants for an actual autoimmune condition that doesn't impact your brain. Mm-hmm. It's like a bladder issue.
Yeah.
It's just, I think that happens all the time. And that is what, like, pisses me off. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's, like, malintent behind it, but, like, how it got to this. I feel
like they went through school, the doctors went through school being told this is the answer, this is how you deal with this.
Yeah.
Rather than, oh, they're trying to, like, some of them might be like, oh, I'll make money on the back end, maybe. But some of them, right, it's not always like that way.
Right. And even if it's not malintent behind it, like, it needs to, I feel like it happens all the time, not only with, like, antidepressants, but, like, overprescribing, even, like, OCD medication. Like, I feel like a lot of kids should just figure out how to concentrate without it instead of just throwing a Band-Aid on it. Like, you need to work through that a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, Quinn, my girlfriend, she's an elementary school teacher, and I mean, I can't tell you a percentage or whatever, but it was crazy talking about, oh, this kid getting administered this, or like all the kids, like the percentage of kids that like were on some sort of medication, right? That's not like natural. Like, that's not necessary. It's just probably, parents get told this by a doctor, right? And they want to do what's best for their kids, and they, they're the experts or whatnot, which kind of, in my mind, goes to like taking it upon yourself, educating yourself so that your kids, you can, do what's best for your kids, which is a little bit different. But yeah, it's a shame, dude. It's a shame that stuff goes on.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how it got to this. Like, and why are like kids nowadays, I feel like everyone's like, oh, I got this disorder or whatever. And it's like so prevalent when like back in the day, I feel like no one really cared. And like the way that parents raised their kids back in the day was like in worse conditions. But like now you coddle a kid and then they grow up like this depressed like sack of bones that like doesn't have goals, no motivation, and just like sits around. Dude. And you're like, well, I don't know, maybe it's because you were coddled and you didn't work through anything hard. Yep. Like going through hard stuff like is good for you mentally, like great for you mentally.
Right. I just listened to somebody who was like saying like using cold plunges or whatever as like an example, like doing things that you don't want to do is like is like right great for you mentally. And then they were using the example like, oh, but when you get used to the cold plunge and you start liking it or whatever, well, it's not something you don't want to do anymore. So it's like it doesn't have the same psychological effect. But yeah, same with thing you're saying, like doing things that are hard or that you rather not do, or like it's easier to be like, like I'll do that tomorrow or whatever. What in your own mind, and probably everybody's mind is a little different, but like you grow psychologically, you grow as a person doing things you don't want to do. But yeah, everyone's so like soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that. I mean, I just feel like nowadays it's like all these kids are just, I don't know. A lot of kids haven't gone through a whole lot. Mm-hmm. So like once they get into the adult world, graduate college, they're kind of like lost and like they just never really went through anything too difficult.
Yeah.
So it's like they're not prepared.
Yeah.
And back in the day, you know, if you had parents that didn't really know how to raise kids or whatever, and then you see like, I don't know, your parents arguing or like breaking stuff, and like, I don't know, just like horrible parenting will make a kid harder, but you grow up with like an understanding of how things are tough, you know?
Yeah. But on the adverse side of that, you know, you grow up seeing the wrong way to deal with things, you know.
True.
Then you start to think, or then it's like normal to you. That's how you deal with things.
You're right.
You know,
yeah.
But yeah, no, there's both sides to it, but they're, you know.
I mean, I'm obviously not saying you should raise your kids like in a bad environment, but what I'm saying is the kids need to realize what they have.
Yeah.
And you need to like go through hard things. That's how you grow as a person.
Yeah.
And like if that's gonna be like training to like run a marathon, or like, I don't know, trying to like whatever you're passionate about, build a business or like cure something, I don't know, but like you need to
fail.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way I see it. But
yeah.
Oh yeah, well, you're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it's like we're at a point where like, you know, we have all these luxuries in our life, and it's, you know, so you don't have to go out and like, this is an extreme example, but you don't have to go like out and like kill your own dinner, you know.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's like that's totally extreme on the other side, but like we have so many things that are just handed to us, so it's like the opportunity to do something hard isn't even as
it's not presented to us.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I just go to the grocery store and get like, you know, 5 pounds of meat a week, and then it takes me 30 minutes, and I get back and cook it up. Like back in the day, you had to chase that down. And
yeah.
You had to kill it yourself.
Yeah.
And like if you didn't get dinner, you didn't get dinner, you know.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think also we can talk about the food and just like how the FDA and like all these just like people with power will just tell you stuff's good when it's like horrible for you. And then in the US, for some reason, the US food is way worse than anywhere else.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know how it got there. I think there is malintent behind that.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Because there's money to be made.
For sure.
Off of sick people.
Yeah, right. I always thought like one of my big like awakening to like truth, whatever you want to say, was like thinking and realizing that the agricultural industry and the pharmaceutical industry just play off each other.
Yeah.
When you don't give people nutritious food, their bodies are susceptible to disease. Then you have to give them drugs. You know, you have to treat them in some way. And if they are healthy, and let's say the agricultural industry was like just and was sustainable and did what it was supposed to for the, you know, then the pharmaceutical industry wouldn't make nearly as much money, right? So they kind of play off each other, like you're saying, the malintent, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, what do you think about what do you think? Because I think me and you think alike on like Whole Foods having, I mean, the best scenario would be you growing your own food or raising your own chickens, getting their eggs, your own beef, and like everything yourself. But what do you think like your version of a proper diet would be? For me, it's probably gonna be different because I have a different opinion, but it'll be very similar.
Yeah. So I just kind of think like, where do I start? Where does my head go? Like, we are organic beings. Like like when we die, like we're gonna go back into the earth, right? So we gotta feed it. The fuel, the nutrition is from the earth, right? So Whole Foods, like that's what I'm going to touch on, is like stuff that you would find in nature, right? Like we talk about grass-fed meat, right? In nature, cows are eating grass. They're not eating corn. On these farms, they feed them corn, they fatten them up because right, we talk about the malintent. They're just worried about making money, so it fattens them up quicker, gets them to the point where they can slaughter them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not natural, right? So the cows naturally for thousands of years didn't grow that way. So my thought process is just natural. Like what would happen in nature, you know?
Yeah.
So I used to like for a little bit. I consider like my girlfriend is a vegan. She's actually she's considering kind of starting to eat meat. She's gonna start eating fish and kind of seeing that maybe that's not the healthiest way to, you know, my opinion, but
Yeah.
probably both our opinions. But so yeah, she's kind of opened her mind to like just it's about the quality of ingredients rather than maybe like this or that, or cutting out this or that. But that would be my answer. Yeah.
Yeah. Just natural. And that, I mean, just think about how humans were for the past million years. Like, we've walked around the earth, hunted food, grabbed fruit off of like vines and stuff when you're in the woods. Like, you weren't like Doritos or
Right.
Cheetos.
Yeah, dude.
What? And you see like 75 ingredients.
Yup.
And like half of them are banned in like other countries.
Yeah, dude.
And you're like, what is going on? How did we get here? And not even to mention, it's horrible for you mentally too. Like, all the dyes and stuff in there affect kids like really, really horribly.
Yeah,
Like Red 40 apparently is like horrible for kids.
Yeah.
And will make them like wired, and they'll do studies where they actually like observational studies where they just give them some red dye 40, and then they can just see like these kids are out of control.
Right.
They act like they're all hocked up on sugar, and it's a dye
Wow.
that they just consumed.
Yeah,
and
that's crazy.
that's in everything.
Yeah.
That's in any red Gatorade, any red like food or drink, it's red dye 40. But I don't know. That's the least of my concerns. I think just get into whole food diet. If you have anything mentally or physically that is causing you an issue, try a whole food diet. Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's going to work for everyone, but I think you'd be surprised how much that's going to impact your whole entire life.
Yeah, and I feel like you got to have mental toughness too, because you could say it's easy to say try doing this, but like if you're used to like a modern diet, like you might give it a week. Oh, I don't feel any better. You probably got to give it a couple months before you start like noticing like how maybe your energy level or your physical shape changes. You know.
Yeah.
So give it a good shot. Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say for me, I mean, I'm trying to remember when it started getting really bad, but I had like a back issue in college, and I don't remember if I was really like my freshman year was really fine. My knees were pretty bad, but I would have like these phantom injuries out of nowhere where like my knees would just be like horrible to where like I couldn't run, or my ankles or my hips or my back, and it'd be like, what is going on? And for years I didn't have any idea what it was. And like I woke up one morning and I literally couldn't move my right leg, and I was like, and like it was scary. I was like, wait, I might be paralyzed for life. I don't know. It went all the way to that. I don't know why.
Yeah, dude.
But I was like, I might be paralyzed. And I remember I was
Scary.
like, I like walked up to the pull-up bar, and I just like, it was like the craziest feeling ever. I was like, my life flashed before my eyes. I was like, I won't be able to walk probably ever again. But it turns out this whole time it was an autoimmune disorder that I had. And once I found that out, I started doing all this research, because that's just how I am. I'm like, all right, let's figure out how to deal with this, instead of like being a victim and just being like, oh, now I have this disorder, let me just like quit playing lacrosse and just like go to a sedentary lifestyle. I'm like, no, let's figure out how to deal with this. So I tried all these diets. I was on white rice, broccoli, and chicken. I did that for like basically my whole senior year at college. But I would have these like lapses every like month or so where my back would get tightened up to where I couldn't walk, and it was like really bad.
I remember that.
Yeah. So what it got me into is once I graduated, and I just now figured it out once I graduated, was actually I saw, Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
So he like talked about it a lot with like chronic illness.
Oh, with the carnivore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
carnivore.
yeah.
So I tried carnivore for 2 weeks. And you wouldn't believe, all my pain went away.
Yeah.
Completely went away.
Dude.
And I was like,
what I hear.
This is nice. But for me, carnivore was kind of hard to sustain because it's only meat.
Yeah.
And I like work out all the time. And so like
Hard on your body?
it's like it's just hard. Like, yeah, you go into ketosis, so like your body's just burning all the fat, and it's I don't know. I needed a little bit of carbs from fruit, I think, and maybe the sugar from fruit. Also, I love fruit, and it just seemed like natural to eat fruit for some reason. I stopped eating vegetables, and so for the whole past year, I've been eating nothing but fruits and meat and honey and eggs. But that's it. That's all
good.
I
That's
eat.
a good diet.
I feel great.
Yeah.
Better. I'm the most athletic than I've ever been in my whole entire life. Like, I can run faster, jump higher, like lift just as well. It's crazy. But yeah, like you were saying, like just do what's natural for humans.
Dude, like I heard someone talking recently, and it was like going back to like the malintent, like they're framing it like, oh, everybody loves Oreos, but like, why can't you just leave it at that? But all these companies, quarter after quarter, year after year, have to make more profit. They want to keep growing and growing and growing, so like the quality ingredients drops, whatever they can to make more profit. So, like obviously Oreos, I don't know if you like, it's kind of a big one that's kind of like got a lot of bad stuff.
Oreos,
yeah. I mean, there's plenty of them, but that was what they were talking about. And then going to like so there's like whole foods, right, which you mentioned, and then there's like processed foods, and then I've heard Jordan Peterson actually, I think, was the one who talked about this term called ultra processed foods, which, like, let's say you took an apple and you sliced it, like, and put it with peanut butter or something. Like, technically, you're processing that, right? There's a process involved in getting it from the whole apple to that. But what he was saying was like ultra processed foods were foods that you couldn't even make in your kitchen if you tried, because like all the ingredients you can't even pronounce, right? You couldn't go to the grocery store and get whatever, all these stuff that's in the Cheetos or whatever, right? So that's another little tidbit, like,
yeah, you're right.
You know,
ultra processed foods. I mean, I'm all in on seed oils are horrible for you too.
Yeah.
You know about the whole seed oil thing and how that all started?
Oh yeah, I just saw something. Right, it's engine lubricant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And they just wanted to sell it and make money on it in a different way.
Yeah, so after, I think it was World War II, the government would give stipends, I think they still do, to farms who produce a certain amount of corn, and they had all this leftover corn. And they're like, what do we do with all this corn? Like, because they're getting money to produce it from the government, so they just turn all their farms, instead of being like greens and like tomatoes and stuff, let's just make corn, only corn, because you make all this money.
Right.
So they start producing all this corn, don't know what to do with it, and then they're like, wait, instead of selling this as food, let's boil it down. And like, basically what happens when you boil down corn and like make oil out of it, it's like, it is engine lubricant, so they'd sell it as engine lubricant. But then they're like, wait, let's make some more money off this, and you have to process it by basically it goes through a process that makes it odorless and colorless, and once it goes through that process, it's just like basically an oil that like, it's like whatever,
Lubes
clear.
something up, like, yeah, it doesn't have any nutritional value.
Yeah, and they put that in food now, and it's in everything. It's not only corn, it's a lot of it's like soybean oil,
Right.
It's like
grapeseed oil.
Grapeseed.
That's one of them.
One of them is actually called rapeseed oil.
Oh yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Which is crazy. But it's in everything.
Yeah.
And so that stuff is super horrible for you, and it's literally in everything you eat. You'll see on the road, if you ever see a truck, and it says vegetable oil, and it'll say like soybean oil, and it comes in truckloads. And let's say you're running a business, and they just hook that hose up to your like seed oil tank, and then you have all this oil. Instead of buying butter for, you know, how much is butter a pound? I don't know, but let's just say like 10.
It was cheaper than butter.
Yeah, a lot cheaper. It's like probably like 30 cents a pound or something. I just made that up, but you know, it's so much less. It's harder to get quality ingredients when you eat out. So doing stuff yourself is definitely the way to go.
Well, yeah, because even, you know, restaurants, it's a business. Like, you got to have some morality, in my opinion, you know, in your business, because otherwise it's just going to be about how can I make more and more profit, and eventually you're going to run into, you know, business restaurants, they want to make money. So that if they get the cheaper quality ingredients, or the less quality ingredients, it's going to be cheaper. They're going to make more of a profit. Yeah. You know, so it always goes back, like, you know, when you say eat out, you know, that's what you're running into.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think just like with anything, not only like the restaurant industry, but any business, you gotta be in it for the right reasons. Like, you can try to grow something and just make as much money as you can, but why not like do it the right way and actually like have passion about high quality stuff? Like the stuff you're putting out or the stuff that you're doing is high quality, you know?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you definitely can, forget about like standards and different things and make a bunch of money in this world. But, I think it's like person to person. Like, would you want to put your name on that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Some people have no problem doing that, and
Right.
and it is what it is. But yeah, I wish there got to be more people who would like kind of concerned with that
And have pride in what they do.
pride, right? Yeah.
Yeah, take some pride in what they do. Let's see. We got some questions here. Dude, actually, can I get a little bit of water? You got water?
Dude, definitely, bro.
I gotta cool my pipes down. We're gonna look at some questions. All right. So what do you think? Let's see. What do you think the best side hustle is?
The best, dude. That's a broad question. I feel
Yeah,
like.
and what do you even think about that question? Is there a best side hustle?
I don't even know, man. I don't even know. Best, I guess, like whatever. You know what? I have an answer for that. Whatever you're gonna be able to sustain over time, like, cause rather than making money and stuff, like we talked earlier about, maybe before we were filming, about how you have to fail so many times to like make it or to make something work, whether it's a side hustle, whether it's like the main thing you're doing. So like I feel like people can get discouraged so often. So like you try this out, you try that out, you run into some problems, you get discouraged. No, I'm not doing it anymore. But like whatever in your heart is gonna be something that you wake up every day attacking,
Mm-hmm.
So it's like kind of a broad answer, but like maybe it's different person to person. But yeah.
Yeah, just find what you're passionate about and something you can make money.
I was gonna say, I guess that's that's maybe more about like, rather than a side hustle, the question is more for side hustle. So like what could be something that maybe you're not passionate about that could make you money?
Yeah, I mean, there's money to be made. There's so much money out there, and it's just like a matter of finding how to get it, you know? It's not like you're like, I don't know, people think it's so hard to make money. It's like there's ways to do it.
You got to convince people, you got to put value in front of their face and convince them to give you their money, basically.
Yeah.
Which is another broad way to put it, but in many ways to do that,
What do you think about the Hawk Tuah girl?
The what? Oh shit. I think.
What's your opinion on her?
I mean, I think I saw the clip. I don't know about the interview when that made her, famous, but I think I seen some things where she kind of, when's your OnlyFans coming out? And she was like, I ain't doing that. So I think she's based. I mean, that's what's up.
No, I know. It's crazy how nowadays you can get famous though from just saying something.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
right, and people are putting out like merch with her stuff on it. I saw her being like, "Yeah, my lawyers are coming from you, and she can make money probably off that."
Yeah. Yeah. She'll be making some good money doing that.
With the internet, right? It's just like right place, right time, right? She wasn't even trying. It was just kind of worked out for her.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty wild. If that was my girlfriend, I don't know how I'd feel about her saying all that. But, I mean, it's good for her, honestly. She's making money doing whatever she's doing. She's like, I'm going to make a show and all this stuff. And I'm like, what is she even going to talk about, though? Like,
yeah, I mean, you wonder if is it going to be like a 15 minutes of fame kind of thing. But, like, she's basically got her whole brand now, you know, and she just has to, if she gets smart business people in her circle, they can kind of help her build that brand, and then she's got something probably last a while.
Yeah. All right, and then I want to play a game here. We're gonna go through some videos, and you gotta decide: are they AI or are they real? Because you know what? I was scrolling on Instagram yesterday, and I saw an ad. Let me just show you the ad, actually. If I could pull up Instagram here, and I'm not even gonna say anything until after.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the AI stuff's nuts, man. I honestly, it's such a big question mark still. Like, where's it gonna go? I do a lot of research on a lot of things, but that's a big question mark for me still. Just like, is it gonna be? I mean, obviously, there's a lot of pessimistic perspectives about it, and I definitely. I'm kind of like against technology, come from that background. Like, but I mean, I don't know. could we just? We'll talk about it after that. You know.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, what do you think, or what's your opinion on it?
All right, hold on. Let's watch. Just watch this. This is crazy. You know Tony Robbins?
Is that this guy right here?
Make such a difference. You really want to get tested early before there's a challenge. You make these small change in hormones and change everything. Just had a man who come to one of our centers and he's listless and his wife has no relationship, and he says he doesn't concentrate, he doesn't focus, and everybody long-term COVID, all those things. And a doctor told him his testosterone was fine. He was at 225. Well, you know anything about a man's testosterone? When you get below 200, it's really a problem. But, most men to feel decent are 700, 800, 900, 1,000, right? So you give this guy 700 of testosterone, and he's completely new man. He lost weight, he's focused, he's there with his wife, his energy for his kids has changed. I mean, this happens to both men and women. I think women are more familiar with it for themselves, thinking in terms of menopause. If you've got somebody in your life, or yourself, or a father, or a mother, or a husband, these things can make such a difference. You really want to get tested early before there's a chance.
I don't even.
Make these
this
small
is
change in hormones and change
so.
Everything.
What this is I guess this company is selling like tests for your testosterone.
Yeah.
I don't really know, but all right. I mean, this is an AI video.
I didn't even know where it was going because I was like, we were talking about AI. Like, this is but this is AI.
This is AI.
Wow. And they're trying to just sell the tests.
Yeah.
Right.
And this looks absolutely real.
Wow, dude, that's nuts. Yeah,
I saw it. This was the most shocking because I watch a lot of Tony Robbins. I'm like super familiar with him. So watching this, I was like, what in the world?
Because you would have never guessed. Like I seen a Joe Rogan one where it was like his voice sounded a little different, and it was like I could tell something was off.
Yeah.
But
you would, and everything, like his voice, his inflection, like everything about it was like dead on. That's him. And it's like, I mean, this is getting scary good now, where it's like that you can make anyone say anything.
I mean, I feel like in the grand scheme of things, it's been like, how many years has this stuff been out? Like 2 years max. Like, and it's
to the public, it's only been a little bit. I'm sure the government's probably been playing around with this forever.
Right.
All right. Yeah, that's crazy. But let's see if we can spot AI or real. Here we go. I don't know what this video is, but I was planning on having a bunch of videos, like already ready, but I couldn't find any. So I was like, all right. But I think this will be good. All right, let's see. Oh, dude, I don't know. I don't know if this is gonna work. Actually, maybe we scrap it, but it was a good idea. I just didn't come prepared. It was a great idea when I wrote it down, and then I'm looking. I'm like, dude, I can't find really anything. Because what am I going to find that's real?
Yeah.
I can just show you a bunch of AI content, but then the game's really not the game because you're just like, oh.
Because it wouldn't be the same thing they're comparing it to?
Yeah. But anyways, it's just crazy how, I don't know, you can't really believe anything.
Yeah. Dude, honestly, like, I just kind of... It was actually during like COVID and like that first Trump Biden election, like the headlines, dude, they all contradicted each other. That next week they said this. It was like COVID and that were all going at the same time. And I remember being like, because I was never like into politics but I just noticed, I was like, why can't I trust what these people are saying? So I started like basically questioning everything, trying to just look at everything that came my way, questioning it, looking at it from every angle. And like at the end of the day, I was like trusting that I was gonna have the most accurate judgment call that I could. Yeah. Because I obviously couldn't trust these people who I had trusted my whole life, the people on the news. Yeah. Right. So that kind of from that point, I was just like question everything. Mm-hmm. And like, yeah, this is a whole nother level. But
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. It's like once you realize that just because someone has power doesn't mean that what they say is true. Once you just that's all you need to realize, because that'll open your mind to everything. Yeah, like the food stuff we were talking about, anything on the news, like doctors, really anyone. Like just because they have power does not mean anything. Mm-hmm. You need to. Now a lot of times, like there's obviously good doctors out there. That maybe there's good politicians. I doubt it, but it's like don't just take their word because they got power.
Yeah.
And I've always been like that. It's just been my personality, and it's got me into like trouble probably because like I don't really like just accept authority just because they have authority.
Yeah.
And it's definitely gotten me into trouble, but I mean it's the best way to do it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's like a lot of it's out of convenience. Like, oh, it's just easy. Oh, they would tell me if this was going on, or like I want to worry about my life and what I've got going on, rather than like questioning these bigger things that really run our lives.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just sometimes it's out of convenience. Like we got all these luxuries and we love them. And like, I don't know, we got your sports fan on Sundays, like the game's on, like, oh yeah, this was going on in politics, but like it's almost 1:00 and it's Sunday, dude. Like we got to watch the game. Like
there's all these distractions.
Yeah. Yeah. But I definitely think it's worthwhile to open your mind up to that. Like forget about the convenience. It's worthwhile to like question everything. Yeah.
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 What do you what's like a conspiracy theory that you think is probably true?
Dude.
You probably got a lot.
Yeah, that's hard to think, dude. I mean, shit, can we look up a handful?
Yeah, let's see.
Because if you just look up a couple conspiracy theories, like I don't know about think it's true. I mean, yeah, some of them I wouldn't even consider conspiracy theories. I'll be like, that's the truth.
It's just the truth. Yeah,
you know, so that's why I don't even know. But like one that is like less accepted, or I could mention, was like people talk about the Titanic sinking was being kind of whatever planned or whatever.
Oh really?
Titanic. I can tell you about that if you want.
Yeah. What's up?
I guess you ever heard of the Rothschild family? The Rothschilds like funds. They're the richest family in like the world, and they've been like funding wars both sides for centuries and centuries. Right.
Really?
And the story or the idea goes is that when like in the early stages of our country, I think there was like a dude who was like for the people, and he was like a just dude, good guy, and he was like getting in the works of like creating a federal bank or whatever, like the Federal Reserve, which is not a government, it's a private entity,
right,
which tells you everything you need to know. It has nothing to do with the government, but it's like puts a front on like it's for the government,
right,
for the people. But anyway, so apparently I don't know this dude's name. Y'all can go if you want to go verify this or look this stuff up, but he was like ahead of the game, and he was gonna set up this bank that was gonna be like the way it worked was gonna be for the people. And I guess they invited a bunch of people on the boat, and the Rothschilds were like kind of running the show. And like I guess the story says like they left the boat right before it like departed or whatever. Like they were on the boat and then they got off because maybe like it was all planned or whatever, but they wanted this one dude to go down. And I mean, I don't know.
And he was on the Titanic.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is basically he was a threat to the Federal Reserve.
Yes.
So the Roth family had him killed in the Titanic. But how do they know like it was gonna go down?
How do they know? Oh, well, that's not. I don't even know what I heard, but I heard probably multiple like videos or whatever talking about, which I feel like kind of discredits it. Oh, you can hear anything online, but like on internet's, you can find a lot of things. Like it's beneficial. Like there's a lot of good information there's a lot of bad information on the internet, but there's a lot of good information.
Right.
But obviously that stuff would be hidden if that was the case, right? Do you believe that, there's, right, we talked about malintent. We do believe there's like, people, corporations that don't want to give up their, power and money over the different industries. Like if that's the case, then this is consistent with that.
Right.
But, I mean, someone said, like, I hate saying somebody said, but there was like witnesses like that heard bombs. They heard like bombs, like, and then it sank. But so like, where is that? How can I confirm that? I can't.
Right. Yeah. Did anyone survive?
Yeah, I think they did for sure.
How? Wasn't it like in the middle of the ocean?
I think they did, dude. I don't know how.
I don't know. Really
Some people
anything
did
about the Titanic. I didn't really. I didn't even watch. What was that movie? The Titanic.
I
didn't even watch the movie, so.
No, but that's like the craziest one that I actually, just because of like the, what's behind it as far as like what I explained, like I don't want to sit here and say, I try to be as unbiased as I can. So I'll take, like I said, I'll take all the angles and I'll try to listen to them and put it together.
Yeah,
but
figure out what is the most reasonable thing that actually happened. And sometimes it is just like, oh no, that just happened.
Right. Like it is reasonable to think that it just sank. So like, that's why I kind of came to mind when you said conspiracy theory.
Right.
So I'm not taking that as the truth, but it's interesting.
All right, let's see. I mean, I don't want to get like into like some crazy topics, but what do we got here? Well, you think aliens are real?
Dude.
I think it's probably more likely that they are than they aren't.
To be honest, yeah, right. It makes sense. Or like the odds, right? Personally, have you ever looked into Tesla, Nikola Tesla?
No, I haven't looked into him.
You ever heard of him though?
Yeah, I know him.
He's like this I don't even know. Scientist is a a broad word, but I forget. Dude, he was a smart dude. Inventor. Mm-hmm. From I think I don't know, late 1800s, early 1900s he died. But they talk about he had he unlocked free energy basically. He built this tower. I think this is documented. And he worked with J.P. Morgan and Chase, or J.P. Morgan was his name.
Yeah.
And he funded it. He funded Tesla. And then once he realized that he basically figured out on unlimited energy just from I forget how. It would be interesting to, not right now, but on your own time, check that out. But basically, he stopped funding him because it was gonna, the oil industry was gonna, you wouldn't need oil.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff out there when I started looking at Tesla and okay, so when you said aliens, I think that he died, and again, is this a conspiracy theory? We're so far away from him dying 100 years ago.
Right.
How can I confirm this? I can't. But I read or heard that his grandson was trying to go get all of his papers when he died, and the government was the first people there, took all of his inventions, took everything. And that leads me to believe they've been working on this free energy propulsion, free magnetic propulsion, hovering and stuff that you would think would be aliens technology, and it leads me to kind of think one day they're gonna come out with I kind of go extreme with it. but you go down rabbit holes and it's oh, one day they were going to see aliens come out. Didn't they on the news they just said some aliens were in LA or something? Did you see that?
There's always stuff that comes out. I mean, I don't even know what to believe, because a lot of there's this guy in Mexico that he brought aliens into a courtroom, and it was the craziest thing ever. And I didn't really fall for it, but I'm maybe that's legit. And it kind of just happened, and everyone just was oh, okay, I guess that's real. Turns out this guy has a history of just making prop aliens and saying they're real, and he's gotten caught before. A lot of times, sometimes it's just wacky dudes out there, but I don't know what to believe. I mean, and really, there's no you could find a UFO. But then, you're is this just a government object? It might not be. Because, dude, the government, you seen those planes that just, sit there? The jets that, in the air will just,
dude,
sit there.
That's kind of what I was referring to. Right, you think they have to keep moving.
Yeah.
And it's, new technology that it would be allowed them to do that. Yeah, dude, I think I've seen some clips of that, but.
So I was just in Baltimore a couple weeks ago. We got back from, maybe it was Memorial Day weekend, and so we're super tired. It's a Sunday, and I live right next to the O Stadium, and so we just go, and I was gonna take a quick 20-minute nap. It's 12 p.m. and I lay down, and I couldn't even lay there. It felt like there was bombs going off and stuff. They were doing an air show next to the O Stadium, and all of these planes were going by, making the loudest noises possible. And that plane or the jet that just sits there was there, and there's a video.
Oh, you're telling me this is is this military? They've got this is it's not oh, somebody saw a UFO. They got a little clip. It's legit.
Yeah,
okay.
Oh yeah, this is legit.
Oh no,
yeah.
Dude, I don't know if I did see that.
I don't know what I don't know what the jet's called. Jet that hovers.
Yeah.
it is one of the craziest things, and my buddy got it on video. It is one of the craziest things. I guess this has been around for a long time.
Oh, for real?
11 years ago, it says this was. I think this stuff is so
Vertical
cool.
takeoff, right? That's what they're calling it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've never seen this. Like,
it's the coolest thing ever. So imagine being out and like you're like, I don't know, somewhere in the Middle East or something, and the U.S. is coming over, and you just see all these just like, you're like,
yeah.
oh man,
Something you've never seen before. Like,
yeah, like what is that? Or a stealth bomber?
Yeah.
Those things are the craziest looking things. They literally look fake.
Okay. It points down. I see.
Yeah. This is insane.
And then what's it shoot off?
I don't even know. It just hovers though.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is insane.
That's crazy.
I mean, it's like unbelievable.
Yeah, dude. Oh, it didn't show it.
I think it's just hovering right there.
Oh, yeah?
I don't even think it's...
It's just still going up. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's unreal.
Dude.
I think that's so cool.
Yeah, dude, I've never seen that. It's crazy. It's even crazier that's 11 years ago.
I know. Well, I was at the golf range by my house in Crofton, which is like probably like 40 minutes away from like 40 minutes away from DC. And I'm just hitting balls, and I heard like the loudest. It sounded like a bomb went off literally right next to me. It was so loud, like it felt like an earthquake, and it sounded like a bomb went off right next to me. And I was like, what was that? And it was crazy. Turns out it was a plane in DC broke the sound barrier.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Like,
and I heard it in Crofton. Like,
oh, in DC you said. Oh,
yeah.
The difference. Right.
And
wow.
I was like, what in the world? And like the news reports came out, and it was kind of like they were kind of sweeping it under the rug. They're like, oh, it was just I don't even remember what they said, like something. But like I'm like, wait, hold on. What was that? And like stuff happens like that. I feel like, I don't know if you want to get down that rabbit hole, because that's like kind of crazy, just the government hiding stuff.
Yeah.
And it's probably for the better that they do that, because they don't want to freak out the public. But you just think of like, you think there's bombs every day that come into the U.S. and like our government just shoots them down and doesn't tell like the public about it.
I see what you're saying,
like, stuff
right?
like that, like terrorism threats that they just like.
Yeah, I mean,
under the rug, to scare people.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I don't doubt it at all. Like, that's what I mean. Like, opening your mind to like what the truth is. Like, there's so many more like, the odds are that we don't know the truth. If you're just sitting there living your life, like, there's probably a lot of things that you don't know that go on, right? So, I mean, I bet that happens all the time.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? All right, change the topic a little bit. You got me back into Chris Brown in 2019 or something.
2019, 2018 maybe.
You won the coveted.
Dude, I don't think I deserved that though.
Oh, it was well deserved. We when we were freshmen, we would sing on the bus. It was only one time, but and it was like basically American Idol. For some reason, you were in it, but you were a junior.
Well, because I
you never did it.
Well, oh yeah, I was a junior. Well, my freshman year, I was ineligible.
Oh, okay.
So, and then my sophomore year, I think it was our first game, and I got, like, I was like, butthurt or whatever about like playing time or something. So on the way back, I was like, I'm not doing it.
So you never got to do it. So it's basically American Idol with all the freshmen, and for some reason, Snake ended up doing it, and this guy's got some pipes on him.
Dude, I like to sing, man.
And you sung, what was it? I Need You, Boo.
Oh, yeah, With You, dude. That's
With
like
You.
one of my favorite songs of all time.
That song, classic. And your rendition of it, I was like, that is actually fire. It was crazy. And everyone else is like, you know, when you like sing as a joke or whatever, and like people are obviously replay Evan did that, and he got through like probably like 10 words, and he didn't remember the rest. But and then you actually like got into it. You sung the whole entire song,
dude,
and it was fire.
Dude, I just feel like I couldn't have joked. Like I would have I wouldn't have made it there. It would have been like lame if I like went up as a joke. So like, I was just like, I mean, I'd be singing all the time. I love singing. So
and it was so good, and everyone's like, "What the? Why is he actually good at singing?" Like everyone else is doing it as a joke, and no, that was nice, and you got me back into Chris Brown too.
Oh yeah,
that song. I listened to that song a good amount. One day when I get a lady friend that I really like, I'm gonna play that song and be like, this is pretty awesome. You gotta
sing it for her.
Maybe I'll sing it for her.
A little bit.
I don't know if she's gonna want me to do that, but I'll try. I can always try to sing.
Dude, karaoke one night, bro. That's a good date.
Oh, you're right. That is a good date. Maybe I do that.
Show your silly side.
Yeah. What's your favorite Chris Brown song?
Dude, either With You, man, or Forever, dude.
Forever's classic. If you're ever like at a party and you want to just throw something on that's gonna get people dancing, that's gotta be the number one song.
Yep.
Every single time it comes on, like, and it's gotta be kind of late night. Like last night I don't even know how I got involved in this, but it was a last minute party bus that I got on and put on Forever.
Yeah.
Everyone starts getting up and dancing.
Dude. Everybody loves it.
And when people, it's like overplayed now, but like you watch The Office.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When they did it in the wedding, it was actually when I first watched it. I mean, I first watched The Office in probably like 2013 or something, but. When I first watched it, I was like, "This is so cool." Like, it was actually sweet. Now it's like pretty corny to do that, but
to do that at a wedding,
yeah,
because it's overdone.
Like,
because of The Office, though.
Yeah, because of The Office. But no, I love that song. It's a great song. What kind of music you been listening to nowadays?
Dude, I mean, I feel like the country wave is like, I mean, I always, dude, I have a pretty big genre of music that I always like I grew up listening to like metal and like hard rock. Like my dad was into like, it was in a metal band, so like Metallica, like I don't know if you ever heard of, like Iron Maiden.
Yeah,
so that's what I literally grew up listening to. But like then AC/DC, like that's like just some rock. But then I would grow up and I kind of went my own way. And I remember like these dudes in 5th grade, or I remember being in 5th grade and we were doing like, me and these 2 other guys were at our little like work table singing Forever. They got me into Chris Brown. So like I like the R&B.
Yeah.
But I like a little bit of everything.
What new artist do you think is like a good one coming up? Hold on, actually, remember, this is funny. I remember being at your guys' house in forget what number that house was on Jackson Street when it was you, Gunner, maybe RK.
236. Yeah.
236.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you guys were at 236. And Gunner was playing Shabuzi.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, Shabuzi's good. And we're like, dude, this is not that good. But now Shabuzi's got like one of the number one songs right now. What's that song called?
Dude, I don't even know.
Tipsy or something. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy.
Oh, that's Shabuzi.
Yeah.
Oh, Gunner was... Yeah, dude, Gunner... Oh, he... Shout out, he's always on
He was on that.
Before anybody, dude.
Yeah,
like,
he's like, no, this guy's good.
Yeah.
He would play that Tall Boy song. That song was not good, by the way, Gunner, if you're watching this. That song was just not good, but he's like, this is good. This is good. We would go over there, I remember, and he'd like be real serious about it, and he'd be like, guys, I got to show you this song. And I'm like, what? He's like acting like he's like bringing something real serious up, and I'll like play it. He's like, this guy's from like, he lives in, I don't know, some random country, and he's like, he's going to be the next thing. And we're like, cool, man. Like, and it was a good song, but
wait, this isn't Shabuzi.
No, it was some other dude. I forget what his name was. And he's like, he's really good. Like, he's really good. And I'm like, all right, man. If you say so.
Dude, yeah. He was always on SoundCloud, so he was always like looking up the guys before they went big, Like he found Juice WRLD before anybody. I knew Juice WRLD.
You guys loved Juice WRLD.
Yeah.
And you guys showed me some good like hits of his that weren't released.
Dude, oh yeah. Some like I still to this day like will listen to like some of his unreleased stuff. So yeah, he's one of my favorite artists.
He used to be my favorite. I still love him, but I used to listen. That was like all I listened to. I think like my junior year of college. Like it was only Juice WRLD.
Yep.
I loved him because he was so talented. I mean, when he would go on Westwood and do that
freestyle,
hour-long freestyle.
Yeah, dude, that's nuts. It
was insane.
Unlike anything
unbelievable
you've ever seen.
Probably the best freestyler of all time.
For real.
Really. I think Juice WRLD probably is. He's got to be. I mean, maybe like top 3 best freestyler of all time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who else. After seeing that, dude, like, I guess like something out of a movie.
People say Eminem, but I don't like it. I think he's kind of corny a little bit, honestly.
Yeah, it's a different time. I feel like it's just different. Like lyrically, I feel like there's Juice WRLD just comparing it like Eminem's like way simpler, whereas Juice WRLD has like really.
Like he talks about deep stuff and like.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and he gets into like, he's always talking about like his demons and stuff. It's like he's talking about spiritual stuff, and Eminem's talking about like spaghetti.
Yeah.
And like wearing clothes. I don't know. Like he talks about dumb stuff. Like it's not really good. I don't know. I'm also an Eminem hater.
Yeah.
I'm a Drake hater too.
Yeah.
I like old Drake.
Right. Just because we grew up on it.
He has some hits that I like here and there, but people worship Drake like he's the best, and I'm like, he's okay. Like,
nah, I kind of feel like isn't he still out there doing it? Like, dude, give it up, bro. Like everybody, you know, you got all the money, you're cool, I guess. Like, well, I don't know, maybe.
Do you think he should retire?
Yeah, dude. How old? I feel like he's a little past.
How old's Drake? I don't know. Let's see how old he is. You want to take a guess?
Dude, I would guess he's like in his late 30s.
Yeah, I would say 36 probably. We'll see how close we are.
Which I'm not trying to hate on him. Keep it going, keep it rolling, but
right in
37.
Yeah, we were right in the middle.
37.
Yeah, no, you gotta give it up. You're 37 years old.
Wow, Kendrick Lamar's 37.
I was just gonna look him up next too. I love Kendrick's my goat. He's my favorite of all time. His lyrics are insane.
Yeah,
he really is. And I love everything he puts out. Like people like be like, "Oh, this album sucked," and I'm like, "No, this is actually a great album." Also, Kanye. I love Kanye. Old Kanye, obviously, great. Like, College Dropout and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and like just all those albums. Oh my God, dude, I love that. I would say Kendrick, Kanye, Juice WRLD, and also I love Snoop.
Oh yeah.
Old Snoop is fire. Yeah.
Dude, I mean, other than like Chris Brown and like Juice that we talked about, I don't really get on like waves of artists. I just like songs, you know, certain songs.
Yeah.
So I'm struggling even thinking of like certain artists right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of. I also like got into like country recently.
Right, that's big these days.
Yeah, I know. It you know, they owe everything to Zach Bryan because he basically got all these country haters into country.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
See, I didn't even like. I didn't know much about Zach Bryan. I bet if I heard some of his hits, I would.
You would know him.
Yeah. See, I mentioned country right when you brought this up, and like I didn't even know Zach Bryan. Like how
you know him. he's like running the whole like, basically. I don't even know if it's like, because he's so popular, but it's like kind of like indie country, but it's really not because he's like so popular. And he makes all these hits. Basically, his style is he writes poems and then he like makes them into songs. So everything's like super like well thought out and like methodical. And most people love it. Some people think it's like too sad or like.
Whatever. Oh, it's kind of its own unique genre.
Yeah, I would say it's kind of like, I mean, country is rock, but like it's more like alternative than it is country. That. I'm into that. For sure. Yeah. Same with, I love Tyler Childers too. I went to his concert. It was like, this is crazy. So I went to his concert with actually Doback. I went to York, and we go and we got like nosebleed tickets, and he's like a bucket list artist for me. Like I want to see him so bad, and we're in the nosebleeds. Out of nowhere, someone comes up, taps me on the shoulder, and he goes, "Hey, by any chance, do you want to go up to the front?" And I was like, "Do I want to go up to the front?" Like, yeah. And this is like 20 minutes before the show started. And he's
some
like,
random dude.
And I'm like, "What? What do you mean?" He goes, "Yeah, I work with Tyler Childers." And we got 4 extra tickets. And if you want to go up to the front, and you can bring 2 friends with you because I see you're with him. And we're like, yeah, well, we're only here with us 2. And so we take the tickets, and these 2 girls in front of us are like, wait, does he have any more tickets? And we're like, we have 2 more if you guys want to come with us. So we just went to the front, and we got to see him like right up in his mid. It was so cool.
That's right.
But yeah, no.
What are the odds, man?
I know. I love Tyler Childers. He's good.
Yeah, I can't. If I heard his song, I think there's probably one
Feathered
of his,
Indians, you know.
There's one of them that I know, and I was like, dang, that's a bop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he's hot these days.
Yeah, he's got like the he's got an old soul. Mm-hmm. Like his lyrics are about like, you would think it's someone who was living in like the 1930s, like on a farm and wherever he's from, like in like an old town in a saloon, like writing. Like he talks about like stuff that you're like, all right, this isn't really what happens nowadays. But where he lives, he probably, I don't know where he's from, but where he lives, it's probably like that. It's probably a little bit different. All right, let's see. Oh, here's something actually. All right, what would you say your definition of success is? This is kind of a hard question to answer.
Yeah, you sent me some topics, so I was actually thinking. I actually like this question.
Yeah.
I do. I liked Joe Rogan's definition. I don't know if you ever seen him talk about this question.
I don't think I have.
He said, because people think about success, it's like reaching a certain point, right? But I think it's a matter of whatever your goal is. Like whatever you set out to do, did you do it? Then you were successful. Right. So it's like the standard isn't the same. Like you could look at it that way and kind of broadly look at it across the board, like, compare everybody.
Right.
But I think that's kind of an unhealthy way to look at things. So if you set out to do this, then like he used an example, like if your goal was to read this book, how many books in a month?
Right.
And you did that, you were successful.
Right.
Right. So that's a very small way of looking at it. But like, in anything, what was your goal? Did you do it? You were successful, or if you weren't, right? If your goal is to be like a homesteader dude that grows all your food, and you went out and lived that life, and you learned those skills and you did that, you were successful, rather than some people thinking, oh, success is like having this much money, having this much free time, going on trips and stuff.
Right.
So I like Joe Rogan's definition when I heard that.
So you would say it's basically success is completing the goal that you made for yourself.
Yeah.
I think so. So I was just actually reading this book. Well, I say reading. I listened to this audio book, but it's called "Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life" by Bob Proctor. Bob Proctor is like basically like a life coach, and I've actually listened to it 4 times this month already because it's so good.
Yeah.
But he talks about his definition of success is the actual process of attaining a goal. That's success. So success, he says, isn't completing the goal. It's the process of completing the goal. And that's success. Because, like, as long as you have that goal and you're working toward it, you are successful. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So let's say you set out to make $100,000 and you every week are making more and more money. You are successful because you're trying to attain that goal.
Yeah.
And let's say you fall short of $100,000. Well, you're still successful because you're working toward that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like you need something to work toward.
Yeah.
Or else you aren't successful. Right.
Working towards it, growing.
Yeah.
Growing is the success. Yeah. Becoming a different person every day, learning more, this or that, whatever the specifics are. Mm-hmm. I like that.
Yeah. So once he said, I'll tell you this book, when I really think like this year it's gonna like I'm gonna do so much that's gonna like change my life forever. I just feel it.
Dude, I love that. I love that, bro.
It's getting me fired
Seriously.
up. But and I think I'm gonna look back like next year and be like next January. I guess January's 6 months away. Next July, and I'm gonna be like I probably have read this book or listened to this book. I'll probably 25 times by then, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, I owe so much credit to it because it teaches you so much. You got to read it. I never do this with books. I'll listen to audiobooks like probably like 2 a month, like nothing too crazy. Just in my spare time when I'm going for a drive, instead of listening to music, I'll throw on an audiobook because I love learning so much.
Yeah.
And I've never done this with a book before. I literally
listen to it over and over again?
And over and over, and I keep taking notes. Like every time I listen to it, I take more notes.
Yeah.
Let me see if I got some quotes from it. It's crazy. You got to listen to it if you haven't. And anyone listen to this podcast right now. But like it talks about like a rocket fails many times to get to the moon. Like to get to the moon, it didn't just have, we're going to do this and then it's going to, just go on autopilot and get there. Mm-hmm. It had to keep correcting. So it failed over and over and over until it corrected to get to the moon. So like if you have a business idea and you're like trying to get there, you're going to need to fail over and over and over and over. That's the only way to get there.
Yeah.
Let's say you have a business like you, Penn Street Greens.
Right.
And let's say you want to make, I don't know what's like attainable, but let's just hypothetically speaking, like,
dude, it's hard to make money with farming.
Yeah.
Especially small scale.
It's got to be hard, but I don't know. What would you say is attainable?
What time
in
frame?
In a year.
Oh, in a year, dude. Dude, maybe in the next year, it'd be nice if I could be like making like, this is kind of a big span, but like, if I was starting out and it was my first year, I would not be saying this, but because I'm in like my third year, maybe like 10, 20 grand.
Yeah. All right. So let's say 20 grand.
Yeah.
All right. So that's your goal, 20 grand. And now you have that goal and you want to reach it, you're going to have to fail over and over. You're going to be like, all right, let me try marketing this way. And like, let's say you just like load on Instagram or something and you just like post every day and it's like decent or whatever, and you try different things. Well, you're going to try stuff and it's just going to flop. Mm-hmm. And you're going to be like, oh, I guess that didn't work. That didn't work. But you got to fail. You have to have the courage to actually try different stuff though, or else you're never going to get to that goal.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And like whenever you're starting something new, I'm actually doing a little thing on the side where I'm renting out a bar that I built. And yeah, it's actually that, Well, actually my mom came up with it with me because we were having a party and she wanted a bar. So she goes online and she's looking at how much it would cost to rent a bar. And it's like, $400 for a night or whatever.
Oh, they had it. I was going to say, like, dude, that would be an untapped market.
I know.
For the most part, it is.
It is an untapped market.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I love woodworking. I'm really good at woodworking. So I'm like, you know what? Let me build you a bar. It'll cost less to build than it would for you to rent.
Yeah.
So then we'll just have a bar for every event that we have, any party that we have. And then we build it, and she's like, you should rent this out. And I'm like, wait, you're right. And so I'm renting it out to people.
What are you going through?
Right now, it's just Facebook Marketplace. Yeah. And that's the other thing. So there's a million reasons not to do something, right? Oh, well, you're going to have to get on all these websites, all this, all that. You don't start something and put all this money into it up front and then just expect it to work. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm slowly getting into it.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't even rented it out yet, but I'm slowly, like, starting to realize, all right, Facebook Marketplace, it gets, so many hits a week. So then now I looked up this website called Wedding Wire, but it's going to cost some money.
To be on that.
To be on it.
Okay.
So now I'm trying to weigh out, is it worth it or not? But I'm not just going to say, oh, let me just spend all this money. And then now I'm stuck with, I got to, maybe the day I had it. And then I had to, go deliver it. And I've never done that before. I'm sure delivering is going to be a little bit of a headache, but I'm ready for it. But you got to have the courage to start it and know that you're not going to be great right away.
Yeah.
And just fail over and over.
There's this one dude I watched on YouTube. His name's Economic Ninja. He talks a lot about economics and stuff, but he's like a business dude. Mm-hmm. And he basically says it's a numbers game. Like right. Just, that explains it enough, but like, it's a numbers game. You fail so many times, you're going to be successful, but right. It's just a matter of like, you're not going to expect to have one idea work out one time. Oh, I'm booming, right? So it's just a matter of how many times you fail. You keep failing, the probability of you being successful gets greater and greater and greater.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true. All right, and then another thing, this book is excellent. It talks about, it talks about what's it called? Frequencies. So like you're always on a certain frequency, right?
Yeah.
Like every person's on a certain frequency. And when you're not successful, so when you're not trying to attain a goal and you don't have any goal, you're on a low frequency. Your body's literally putting out low energy out into the world. And this is a little like hokey or whatever, but
dude,
no, I completely believe it.
Yeah.
And even if it is hokey and it's maybe something that's not real, why not believe in it if it works?
Yeah.
You know? So let's just say you're on a low frequency, you have no goals, you're just kind of sitting around doing nothing. You're on this low frequency. And then you got to get to where you want to be, you got to be on a higher frequency. And once I started thinking like that, I'm like, wait, this makes so much sense. And it's like contagious. Like when you're around people on a low frequency, you like bring yourself down.
Yeah.
And when you're around people with a higher frequency that are like super, super like, you know, trying to get somewhere, you're on that higher frequency.
That just reminds me of Childs would always say, you're the average. Coach Childs, our college lacrosse coach, would say, you're the average of the 5 people you hang around.
Right.
Totally.
Yeah. Oh, that's completely true. Yeah, I remember he said that one time. He did use that a lot.
Yeah.
One time we were getting ready for practice and I was joking around. I don't know what I was saying, probably something that added no value to anyone, but it was me, Eben, and Brett just like joking around with each other. Locker, yeah. And he comes up and he goes, "Hey, Eben, I just want you to know you're an average of the 5 people that you hang around." And I'm like, "It's me and Brett, man." What? Like, I don't know what.
What are you trying to say?
I don't know what he was trying to say. Yeah. But yeah, and this also talks about what's it called? The only way to learn something is repetition. Mm-hmm. So like back to what we were talking about, to like get better at growing stuff, you gotta repeat it over and over and over and over. Yeah. That's the only way to learn something. You can't just do it once and then now you know it, you know?
Yeah. And like makes me think of like I had mentioned before how like you see these videos of like people online that come out of college and they're like, like what, I can't get a job or whatever. They want this many years experience, but I have a degree. Like, what was the point of getting the degree if I needed experience to get the job? But like, that's kind of what it made me think of. But like, just because you got the degree doesn't mean that's not what the employer is looking for. You know, they want somebody who's got the hands-on, experience because they know that person's capable.
Right.
Rather than you got the degree. You know, certain fields it depends.
Right.
But I don't know if you said I don't think you saw that video, but I see like videos of, young people coming out of college kind of having trouble getting jobs or whatever. And that one sticks out to me. But work experience, right? People who go and like, I'm not saying the one path is right or one path is wrong, but like, let's say people who instead of go to college, they go out into a trade and they get all this experience while these people are in college learning. Yeah. And they got that under their belt, and how much value that is these days, right?
I mean, AI is not taking away trades.
Yeah.
You're not going to have an AI plumber. That'd be crazy. You get a plumber come over and it's just AI. I don't know if that would be good or not. Probably. I don't know. Who knows? No, I completely agree, though. Like, and that's not really being emphasized either. Trades are great. Mm-hmm. And also, I think in a different life, I would be a good tradesman doing something. I don't know what I would do, but like working my hands. I love doing it. Yeah, I love woodworking.
Yeah,
I love
it. Dude,
you
mentioned that before, and I was like, dude, I always told you, dude, the Naptown Woodworks.
Yeah,
you should have, dude. That would have.
I mean, it's not too late.
Right?
It's not too late.
But what about your boys?
The boys I don't do it with. Well, they don't live. Like I live in Baltimore. One lives in DC. One lives in Austin.
But if they're not interested in taking it on their hands, you gotta.
I know. Maybe I'll start it back up. I don't know. I gotta sit down and actually think about what I want to do, because every January I'll like go to like a park or like a field, and for some reason I like find when I think like deep, I like exercising before, so like I'll go on a run or like do laps or something, and then I'll just sit there with my thoughts and just write down my goals for the year. I do that like every January, but I should probably do it more than just once. And yeah, I really should within this next year. Maybe I'll do it when I get back. Just sit there and think about what my goals are, and like maybe I'll start that back up. I don't know,
dude, because I always thought that would be like nobody else is making custom, like it doesn't have to just be like pong tables or whatever. It could be, you could expand,
right?
I mean, what are bars, right?
Yeah.
Bars,
yeah,
a bunch more things you could do.
Bars for sure. Maybe I will do that. You give me a good idea. Give you some commission on that. That's what I think is a great idea is building woodworking and then having referrals. Like if you refer someone to me, I'll give you like $100 or something, which is like for
Referral
you,
business,
that's
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
You're like, hell yeah,
Yeah.
like $100 for just getting someone to buy something from me.
Yeah.
And then all I do is hike up the price $100.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
This
yeah.
stuff sells for a lot.
Definitely.
Profit margins on woodworking it's crazy.
Yeah, because people can't do that themselves, right? So when you have a skill like that, absolutely.
I would say like in the service industry when you're well, I guess that's a good, but like 40% margin is great. That's like super, super, super good. In woodworking, the margins are almost more than that, honestly. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll do that. But
that's interesting that you mentioned like the different industries have different margins because I watch a lot of Shark Tank, dude.
Yeah.
You ever watch Shark Tank?
Yeah.
And then depending on the business, product, service, whatever it may be, you know, sometimes they have huge 80% margins.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, depending on what it was, I don't know, but sometimes like it's a lot smaller, and you know, it's just an interesting to think about.
80% is crazy.
Well, maybe that's you know, but maybe.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's definitely possible. That would probably be for like products that are like, I don't know, high quantity products, lower cost,
yeah,
to the consumer. Those margins would probably be pretty high. What's it called? Oh, here's something from the book too. So from Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life. Everyone who's had a great breakthrough has been told that it's impossible to do it. So like the Wright brothers, apparently their dad was like, literally said, you're going to rot in hell for trying to fly. Like only God can fly or whatever.
Oh, yeah?
So like, yeah. So like when they're doing it, they're like being told it's impossible to do. Or like the person who climbed Mount Everest for the first time was told like, you're going to die. Like,
yeah.
What are you doing? And like to get to that point where you have this breakthrough, you're going to be told by everyone that it's not going to work.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that makes me think like I've always thought before like I'll think about crazy ideas and I'll be so into it and I'll like you talk about frequencies, like I'll believe in it and like to like maybe I've had conversations with my own parents, like not that I'm not saying like, but just I'm not saying they doubt me or anything, but like maybe they do in a way.
No, they definitely do.
But
no one's gonna understand the vision that you have.
Yeah.
So you really can't tell it to anyone.
Yeah.
Unless you're like if you told me something, I'd probably be like, that's actually a good idea. Like, and like I'd be able to like see, all right, you can make money doing it, but like we think a little bit different, you know? Like most people are like, well, look, you're gonna run into this problem or that problem.
Right.
It's like,
yeah,
yes, I'm going to.
Right.
I know that I want to run into those problems.
Yes.
Like starting this podcast, like I didn't know really what to do at all. I didn't even know about anything. Over time, I started adding more and more stuff. I'm probably not doing something right. I mean, there's probably like way more stuff that I could be doing that I'm just learning, you know. And you just got to be able to keep on. You got to see a vision.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
I just think, like nowadays we were talking about how like kids are having all these mental issues and stuff, and like depression's so much higher nowadays, and it seems like there's just all these disasters in the world that like shootings, like, and just stuff caused by like mental illness. And it's like, do you think almost like, does lack of motivation and like laziness and all that, could that maybe cause like these issues, and it's not the other way around? Like these issues are causing that, like maybe it's that's causing these issues. Like what's the solution to help like change that?
Dude, I just honestly I always thought about the problems going down, the problems I see in the world. What can we do to change it? What can we do to reverse and help? I feel like it's just like one person at a time, spreading the energy, the thought, the way of thinking. This like taking it upon yourself. What we were talking, not trusting just anybody because they are in a certain position, and like educating yourself and like raising the youth to be the same way.
Yeah.
You know. As kind of a broad answer, but
no, yeah. I mean, I think number one step. Let's say you're at home, you're like depressed, you can't get out of bed, or whatever. I mean, I don't want to like hate on like medicine, but instead of like going straight to medicine, try to think of a goal. Think about, how am I going to attain this goal? Is this something that I can actually attain? set that goal. Make sure it's like in the next year, be very specific about it.
Yeah.
And then next year, I'm going to get $100,000 from working this job and then doing this on the side. I'm going to do this. And then, you know what this book actually talks about is actually taking your like bank statement, printing it out, or not printing it out. I guess you can do it on your phone now, screenshotting it and replacing whatever's in there right now with a number that you want to see. Yeah. So you actually see that vision.
Yeah.
So now you have that vision and you see it, you believe it, and you're like, this is attainable. I'm going to get to this level. And then if you can actually see every day like progress, you can see success. Mm-hmm. It might click something in your brain to where you actually are starting to have motivation to do something.
100%. Dude, like, didn't Jim Carrey write his check out for $1 million or whatever and kept it in his wallet? Like, I think there's Jennifer Aniston talks about, like, I've heard her, or I heard someone referencing that she said, like, well, she wasn't the only one, but talking about you gotta, like, carry yourself, walk with, like, that I've already done that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you want to be somewhere, but, like, carry yourself in a way where it's like that's who you are,
right?
Who's already has achieved that, you know. And it's like kind of the law of attraction, talking about frequencies that you were saying.
Yep.
Yeah, I believe in all that. It's not hokey to me at all.
I know that the law of attraction thing, like The Secret. You know The Secret?
Yeah.
He was actually Bob Proctor. I don't know if he helped. I think Sandra Burns or whoever. I don't remember who made it, but he like helped her write it, or maybe helped her make the movie for it. But yeah, that's what all this is talking about. Frequencies, everything, law of attraction. Yeah. Putting good energy out there, you're gonna get good energy back. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I don't know. It's sad to see, and I hate seeing. For some reason, I hate seeing people that are unmotivated. I think it's just like it's like something went wrong, and how can I help? There's got to be something I can do, but I don't know. I don't want to like preach to people.
Right. Right.
And it
can't change people, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. But it's them. It's their decision. They have to be the ones to make the decision and change. But I see it all the time with kids. Like, it's like, how do we change that?
Yeah.
You know?
Like more specifically, what can we do as a like a group of people or a population? Like what can we go about it? You're saying?
Yeah. Maybe we got to spread this message, honestly.
Yeah, dude, literally just information, like perspective, like having conversations, you know, put it in front of people who maybe like I said, the young people who need it, or just anybody who needs it, you know?
I mean, maybe a goal of this is if one person watches this podcast and that all I need is one person that's like unmotivated. It's like, you know what? Maybe I'm actually going to get out a piece of paper and sit silent. Yeah. And like no phone, no distractions, and write down my goals, and then like try to attain them just for like a month. Yeah. If one person does that and they change everything, that would be awesome.
That's successful.
That's success.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was I gonna say?
Damn. No, I don't know. I think we.
I had something.
I think we really what's it called? I mean, I think we kind of got down to the bottom of, I don't know, how to kind of get on a better frequency and just get on the right track.
Yeah. I was just wanting to mention this one last thing. Like, you can't change your, where you are, right, your state, unless you change the way you think, right? So if you keep thinking the same way, like in the same frequency, nothing's going to change. Like, you might try this, but you might just get discouraged every time you have a failure again. So it's like, open your mind. It might feel like corny, you know. It might feel like you're doing something that's kind of uncomfortable, and other people might look at you weird for. But like, unless you change the way you think, you're not going to change where your feet are. You know. Yeah. I heard someone say that once.
No, that's true. That's true. You gotta see the vision in your head, and you gotta be there mentally, or else you're never gonna make it there. Yeah. You know. Yeah. I mean, what do you think? We got any more topics you want to talk about?
Dude, I don't know.
Should we start wrapping this up?
Yeah, we can wrap it up.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
I mean, did we hit the list? Did we hit them all?
Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, just check the list one more time. I mean, we covered a lot.
I don't even know
how long it's been.
It's been an hour and 25.
Oh, all right.
I mean, I think we pretty much hit the list.
Yeah, that's good for me, dude.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's my boy Snake. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks,
that was awesome.
Yeah, dude.
I think that was actually great.
It was.
Go check out Penn Street
Greens. Yeah. Might change the name soon, dude.
Really?
Dude, because I would do the microgreens, and I did like the leafy greens, and now I'm kind of expanding to like a little medicinal herbs, teas, tinctures, like different things like that. So I might change the name, but
maybe change the name. Maybe it'll change. I don't know.
For now,
what do you like? Where can you get it? Is it you have a website?
No. Well, see, I mean, it would be nice to, I know that's down the line for sure in the work. Like, I want to have a website where because it's going to be rather than like fresh, produce, which you couldn't really get online.
Yeah.
But if it's preserved, dried stuff, down the line, I would like, want to have a website. And so, no, I don't have it. I do it at a market down the street, farmer's market.
You know what you could do? Have a website and then say you only deliver within a certain amount.
Yeah.
And then, or you know what you really should do actually? Just have a website and say, I'm going to be like pick up locations at the market.
Yeah. For marketing purposes.
Yeah. Because I get meat from this farm in Pennsylvania, actually, and they deliver it once a week. Surprisingly, the only location in Baltimore is right next to my house. So I get fresh meat from a farm in PA, grass-finished beef, delivered right to my house for $9 a pound.
Wow.
Unreal.
Dude, that is a good, because I'm always thinking like streams of sales. I thought like direct to consumer at the farmer's market, like getting into like small health food grocery stores around here, which there are a few.
Yeah.
And like some like local delivery, but I didn't think about like periodically or like once a week, once a month or something, like getting a bunch of sales and then going that one day and meeting
that'd be, I think you should try it.
Yeah, dude, definitely will. I didn't think about it. About that.
Yeah, we're just thinking. I think that's a good idea. Try it out.
Fact,
but where can, right now you just got an Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram, Penn Street Greens. Yeah, I mean, I got to be more active. Like we talk about business and stuff, and like there's so many things, there's so many like different parts of a business. So I'm trying to like work on this side, but I got to get better at that.
Yeah. But you can't just, I mean, you can't be expected to like do everything right. Like me, like with this, I'll probably just post this on YouTube, like I was talking about. Like I should be putting it everywhere. Yeah. And I will, but like right now, I'm just like easing into it. Yeah. Slowly.
Right. We're still like in the infancy of all this, so we're learning about it and everything. So.
Yeah. Well, awesome, man. Well, thanks for talking.
Dude, appreciate it.
I feel like we covered some good topics.
Dude, for sure. Had good conversation. I love that.
We got pretty deep. I like the game we were going to play that didn't actually work out. We just watched Tony Robbins talk for like 25 seconds. But
that was eye-opening, dude, because I feel like I've seen some of the AIs, and I'm like, okay, something's off, but I would never have guessed.
That was the craziest one I've seen yet.
Yeah.
Absolutely unbelievable. But, yeah, man. Well, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Dude, thanks for coming and meeting me up here.
Yeah, if anyone's got any guests that they want to see, let me know in the future. We got some good ones lined up. I think this is my favorite podcast that I've done so far.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, we covered some good ones.
We have good conversation, we do.
Yeah, so let me know if you want to see anyone else, but yeah, just leave a comment and just let me know how we're doing. Please, hate comments are good too. Anything, all right? Anything will help the algorithm.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well,